What's up, everyone? Silas back again, and today I'm going to talk with y'all about how fantasy can cloud reality. Now, there's a couple different. I got hair in my face. There's a couple different aspects to this that I've been thinking a lot about, and I think it really has to do with a lot of daydreaming and not being grounded in the moment. There's a bit of, I think the whole reason this idea manifests, the clouding of reality with fantasy, is we let our mind drift off too often away from what is happening in front of us and what our reality actually is. There is a difference between where our thoughts go and what we're actually doing. And it's kind of like the idea that it's like, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome, that is a fantasy. And there is a lot of that being pushed on our modern society too, and the way our technology is leading us is towards misrepresentation of how we actually feel and how our society is actually going. Because when you are sucked into your phone or sucked into a piece of technology, that's not reality, that's a fantasy. Just as daydreams are a fantasy, or reading a book and having an image pop up into your mind, that is a form of fantasy too, but there's obviously, healthy forms of that. So, being aware of where our thoughts may be trailing to and how they may be misleading us and misguiding us, and pointing us in the wrong direction away from the way things should actually be going is very important. If we stray too far off of our own path with just our own imagination, we can completely mislead ourselves in the wrong direction from where our original goals really were. And so I think that it's important that we keep an eye on where our goals are pointing to and what we really want to do with our time. Our entire world is getting its attention span fried. The human attention span has significantly decreased over the past 5 to 10 years due to technology, due to the rise of social media, due to the rise of things like TikTok and, Instagram Reels, Snapchat. It's all affected our brains because on a biological level, as I've spoken about in my other videos, we aren't ready for the evolution of technology mentally. It is overwhelming to us in our brains on a biological level. We may not understand it because it feels good, and that's kind of just the only feeling that we get from it, but if we are really able to self-reflect, which is hard for a lot of people to do nowadays because everyone is just very much sucked into not reality, then it becomes a lot harder to function, even normally, So I guess that's really my main point on that. I think there's a lot to be said for the way our society is headed right now. And the way people's attention spans are going, it's going down the drain, which means less and less people are able to focus on what really matters because they're sucked into a fantasy. They're sucked into their imagination, and they aren't able to really have a grip on reality. And when you are able to take a step back from whether it just be technology, local pleasures, politics, things like that are just worldly, that don't really matter, that are outside of our immediate vicinity. They do matter in the grand scheme of things, but it sort of puts us in a state of fear and worry and constantly having our mind race to the next thing instead of being like, okay, this is what's in front of me right now. And I think that's really important. It's like a novelty, having novelty is not something that the human brain is used to. We are used to being hunter-gatherers on a biological level, and we're naturally kind of violent territorial creatures, and our society and our technology that we've built, as great as it is, has really led us down this rabbit hole of self-destruction and being away from what reality really is, how we're really feeling, because our feelings aren't necessarily reality, but our feelings affect our reality. And so when we are able to identify what these emotions are and, work with them and not just let them lead us astray, then we can become a lot stronger. And I think that's all I really got to say about it. I don't think I need to elaborate much more. Anyways, I love y'all. Take it easy. Have a good day. Peace out.